cooking a simple dinner tonight, but it's really, really good. The first thing we're going to cook is pork chops. They're not pork chops, though. They're pork ribeyes, and they're very easy to prepare. They're already kind of getting a little bit warmer. And all we've done is gotten the pork ribeyes. They're like $5.50 for these four at HEB, and the Adams Reserve House All-Purpose Rub. And we've covered those up. They've been sitting out on the counter about 15 or 20 minutes, getting a little closer to room temperature. And that's all we have to do for those. The other thing we're making tonight is Brussels sprouts with lemon, pancetta, and Parmesan. So we've already prepared the Brussels sprouts. We just got these at the store. They were washed. Sometimes they're not washed, and so we'll go ahead and chop them in half and peel off. And I usually cut off, they get cut lengthwise. And then also I like to cut the stems off because sometimes those are not so great. But just like that, about 2 pounds of Brussels sprouts. If you have any really big ones like this, I would cut it twice. And there was a couple of big ones in here. Most of the time, they're not too big. About the size of, I don't know, a quarter, or between a quarter. Anyways, we don't have pancetta tonight. Pancetta is expensive. I'm not too much of a cook. I don't know too much of the difference between one thing or another. So we're using bacon. So we've got 4 ounces of bacon, and this is just chopped. I cut it lengthwise and then cut it into small cubes and pieces. We're gonna put that in there. And then garlic, and I've minced the garlic already. The garlic, this is 1 large clove, and I really like garlic, so we're gonna use 1 clove of garlic and a really big one. If I didn't have a big one, I would have used 2 small ones. And then some salt and pepper, and not too generous with the salt because we've got all that bacon in there, but pretty generous on the pepper. And we'll put some more of that on in a minute. I'll tell you what, that's just not gonna get it done. We'll just put some pepper in my hand, and we will, there we go. And we're gonna toss that around in just a second. Probably 2 teaspoons of pepper and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And so just to cover it good, because the bacon, this particular instance, is going to render out, have some fat in it as well. We're going to stir that up really well, and this is so easy. Now a few of the leaves are going to come off, and that's fine because we want those to brown. The recipe originally, when we found this, just said, hey, put these in the oven and let them cook. But what we have decided we like to do is to put them in an all-metal skillet with a metal handle, and we're going to brown them for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes on the stove, and then we're going to transfer them to the oven. So we'll just put them on the skillet. We'll turn that on, and we will come back in about 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll see how they're doing. We'll just spread them out there, and we're gonna let them brown up just a little bit before we transfer them to the oven. So these have been cooking for about 10 minutes. You can hear the sizzle. You can see that some of them are starting to brown just a little bit. And that's as far as we wanna go. Just keep turning them occasionally. We had to add a little bit more olive oil just to make sure that they didn't scorch, and just browned really well. That's all we have to do. When you get them to this point, that's as far as they need to go. And then take and put them in the 400-degree preheated oven and just let them cook about 20 minutes. So we've got about 20 minutes until they're done. We're gonna take the meat outside and get that cooking. So come on. So we moved to the garage, and we're cooking with a cast iron grill pan on a cooker. I like to do this outside because it smokes a lot. This is pretty hot. This is olive oil, so it smokes a little bit easier than some oils, but that's okay. That means that we're ready to go, and we'll get started. We're gonna cook these for about 4 minutes aside. So it is 7:23, and you wanna hear that sizzle. We didn't hear it. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you want to get a good press on those. So you want a lot of contact between the grill and that meat. We're gonna sear it. And as soon as we've been on there about 4 minutes, they'll let go and we'll turn them over. We'll come back then. Okay, so it's about time to turn these over. The pan might have been a little hot, a little darker than I usually like them there, but it'll be okay. That's pretty good. We get that caramelization going. They're nice and tender. That was just a little bit hotter right there. We'll move this one over just a bit, and this one just a bit. But that looks pretty dang good. So we'll let those cook 3 or 4 more minutes, and then we'll take them inside. So while these have been cooking now for about 4 minutes on the other side, we're going to take some Soppin sauce that we got, and I'll put the description to this and a link in the description for the video. And we're just going to brush that lightly on there. You don't want to put it on there beforehand because it would burn. The sugar would. It has a little sugar in it, but it's really good. It's very savory. And like I said, you could do this inside. It's not a problem. If you had a George Foreman grill or grill pan that you wanted to put on the stove. I just prefer to do this outside. But you put this on there, and we're going to let it tack up a little bit. And I'm going to actually do both sides because I really like this Soppin sauce. It's got a little vinegar in it, a little sugar. We're going to turn them over here just a little bit. That looks really good.
Whoa!
Just a little flame up, no big deal. We're going to brush this side with a little bit of the Soppin sauce. Man, the sizzle is good.
And the smell is good too.
And Luke says the smell is good too. And let that tack up. We want pork chops to be about 140 degrees when they're finished. So we take food safety serious and we'll check it. That one is good. That one's not quite there yet. This one is good. This one's not quite there yet. So we'll move these to the edges down here. So it's not quite as hot. We'll move these to the interior.
Dad,
and we'll let them cook just a little bit longer.
That's one of the good ones.
And we'll take it indoors. Okay, let's see. Yeah, about 4 more degrees on these two. We've just gotten back in, and the Brussels sprouts are nice and soft, and you can see that they are mostly brown, not necessarily black. We're going to transfer these to our bowl. There's more efficient ways of doing this, but they also make more mess. We'll get that put in our bowl, and then we'll do the rest in just a second. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. Then, while we were letting that cook, we zested 1 large lemon and juiced 1 large lemon. And we're gonna take that, and Heidi, if you'll grab the Parmesan cheese, we're gonna spread this on top. We're gonna stir it around just like that. This citrus taste with the savory salt and pepper and bacon and Brussels sprouts is delicious. Even my boys will eat these, and that tells you that they are good. So there we have it. Pork with Brussels sprouts, lemon, and pancetta, or in this case bacon, and we will garnish that with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese. And let me tell you folks, it smells so good in this house tonight. I wish you were here with us. Okay, so there we have it. Our pork ribeye with our Soppin sauce, the lemon pancetta, or in this case bacon with Parmesan and lemon, and a great roll. It's gonna be a good meal.